Weilà raga! How's it going, guys? Welcome to the third episode of Advanced Italian. In this video, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite verb tenses, the Congiuntivo Imperfetto, the imperfect subjunctive tense. Now, this can be a little tricky because it's very easy to confuse this with the Congiuntivo trapassato, which is what I'm going to be going over in Advanced Italian 4, but we're not there yet, so we're not going to worry about it, okay? This is, yet again, another form of the congiuntivo. We're going to be talking about wishful thinking. We're going to be talking about when we're making hypothetical statements. We're going to be talking about uncertainty. All that kind of stuff. That's when you know you gotta use the congiuntivo. Here's the thing, though, about the congiuntivo. When you use it, you sound really smart. It really shows that you've got a good, solid understanding of Italian. So that's why I highly recommend, if you guys are still a little bit unclear with some of the stuff that I went over in the grammar basics videos and in all of my other past Learn Italian videos, go pause this video and then go and check them out. Give yourself a nice little refresher, that way everything's nice and clear, and then you'll be able to tackle this verb tense with no problem, okay? But enough chit-chatting, let's just take a look at how we actually use this. So, how do we always begin? We're going to take a look at the are verb endings. Both io and tu will end in assi. So whenever we have situations like this, what does that mean? It's always good to use the pronoun unless we've got multiple verbs conjugated in a certain way in a sentence that tells us whether we're talking about io or tu. But you know what? Use a pronoun. It's nothing wrong with that. Lui and lei will end in asse. Noi will end in assimo. Voi will end in aste, and loro will end in assero. So, what verb am I going to show you guys? Well, one of my favorite verbs in all of Italian, mangiare. Mangia, mangia. Ever hear that? You know, it's like so typical. You know, whenever we think of Italian, we think of mangia, mangia. You know what I'm saying? So, if you know how to get this verb down, you will impress anybody, even English speakers, because a lot of people know what mangia means. You know what I'm saying? Alright, enough of that. So let's get into seeing how we conjugate mangiare, which means to eat, in the congiuntivo imperfetto. Che io mangiassi. Che io mangiassi. That means that I ate. Che tu mangiassi. Che tu mangiassi. That you ate. Che lui, lei mangiasse. Che lui, lei mangiasse. That he or she ate. Che noi mangiassimo. Che noi mangiassimo. That we ate. Che voi mangiaste. Che voi mangiaste, that you guys or you all ate. Che loro mangiassero. Che loro mangiassero, that they ate. Now let's take a look at a phrase with mangiare in the congiuntivo imperfetto, in the imperfect subjunctive tense. So here's our sentence. It's gonna begin with the indicativo imperfetto, the imperfect tense, grammar basics 4. It's going to end in the congiuntivo imperfetto. So the imperfect tense is kind of like, use it like an anchor. Hold on to it, okay? Hold on to it to know if I'm starting a sentence with that, and I'm talking about wishful thinking, uncertainty, I'm hypothesizing, the ending's going to have to be in the congiuntivo imperfetto, okay? So that's going to help you. I think that's going to help you out. Pensavo che tu non mangiassi pesce. Pensavo che tu non mangiassi pesce. If we said this quickly, pensavo che tu non mangiassi pesce. This means, I thought that you didn't eat fish. So, you know, let's say you come to my house and I just so happened to make fish and it's on the table, but I didn't think you were going to eat it, so I made you chicken and you decide to eat it anyway. I can say, oh wow, pensavi che tu non mangiassi pesce. You know, I thought that you didn't eat fish. So this is exactly how you could use this kind of sentence. So now let's move into an ere verb. I've got two of them for you guys, alright? Avere and essere. The famous avere and essere. Avere means to have, essere means to be. So now let's take a look at how we conjugate those, but of course before, let's show you all the ere regular verb endings. Both io and tu are gonna be essi. Lui and lei, esse. Noi, essimo. Voi, este, loro, essero. So now we've got avere. Avere means to have. Che io avessi. Che io avessi. Che tu avessi. che tu avessi, che lui lei avesse, che lui lei avesse, che noi avessimo, che noi avessimo, che voi aveste, che voi aveste, che loro avessero, che loro avessero. The phrase I've got for you guys begins in the congiuntivo imperfetto. It ends in the condizionale presente, in the conditional tense, okay? This is a hypothetical statement. Se solo avessi più soldi, comprerei una macchina. Nice and slow, let's say it. Se avessi più soldi, comprerei una macchina. This means if I had more money, I'd buy a car. So I'm saying if only this were the case. It's not, but if it were, that's how we know we've got to use the congiuntivo. And then we know we have to use the condizionale presente because it's the direct translation. I would buy a car. Now let's take a look at essere. Che io fossi, che io fossi, che tu fossi, che tu fossi, che lui lei fosse, che lui lei fosse, che noi fossimo, che noi fossimo, che voi foste, che voi foste, che loro fossero, che loro fossero. I find that avere and essere are perfect to use when trying to learn the congiuntivo imperfetto. Because all the time in English, we're always saying things like, if I were you, if only I were younger, if only I were older, if only I were this, if only I were that. Or, if only I had, or if only it, well, that's a different, I was gonna say if only I was, that's something else, if only I were. Point is, whenever we're saying stuff like that, that's when you gotta use the congiuntivo in Italian, specifically, or particularly, the congiuntivo imperfetto. So, that's why I'm teaching you avere and essere today, because I think they really help to let you understand how you use this. You know, at least for me, I know in my experience, it's helped me tremendously, especially essere. Because let's take a look at this phrase. Vorrei che tu fossi qui. Vorrei che tu fossi qui. This means if wrong sentence. I wish that you were here. I've got another example with this. I wish that you were here. Whenever we're saying I wish that you were here, it's like, it'd be so nice if you were here with us, you know? But you're not. But we really wish you were. This is wishful thinking. The thing with vorrei, which is the io conjugated form of volere, which means to want, in the conditional tense, Grammar Basic 6, the reason why it means I wish is because when we're using it in this context with the congiuntivo imperfetto, it can mean that. Sometimes words are versatile, sometimes verbs are versatile this way. They can have different meanings just depending on the context. Sometimes the best way to understand a foreign language is, or a second language, is if we better understand our own language and figure out, well, what are we actually trying to say in English first? You know what I mean? If we can really analyze and break down what we're trying to say, maybe then it's going to be a little easier to figure out what it is in another language. That's how I like to view it, you know, because when we speak in English, we don't think about it. It's just thought, word, comes out of the mouth. But when you're learning another language, it helps when you think a little bit more about what you're saying, because then you'll be able to find the right translation. Here's another example. Se solo fosse così facile. Se solo fosse così facile. What does this mean? If only it were that easy. Now let's move on to an ire verb. I chose the ire verb venire, which means to come. So here's how we conjugate it. But of course, before we do that, I gotta show you the ire verb ending. See, I'm just ready to go. I want to show you the next example, but we gotta take our time here. So the ire verb endings, both io and tu end in issi, issi. Lui, lei ends in isse. Noi ends in issimo. Voi ends in iste. And loro ends in issero. Now we can take a look at the verb venire. So it means to come, and here's how we conjugate it. Che io venissi. Che io venissi. Che tu venissi, che tu venissi, che lui lei venisse, che lui lei venisse, che noi venissimo, che noi venissimo, che voi veniste, che voi veniste, che loro venissero, che loro venissero. So now, this example that I've got for you guys, it's actually kind of difficult to translate. This is like the hardest, I guess I'll say, of all the examples that I've given you guys, but it's just to give you a little like preview of how the Congiuntivo Imperfetto can be versatile, can be used in a couple different ways, at least in terms of the translation into English. So we've got Speravo che veniste con me alla festa. Speravo che veniste con me alla festa. This means, I hoped you guys would come to the party with me. So here's the thing. There is no conditional tense verb or verb in the conditional tense in this sentence. So why are we saying would in English? This is the thing with the congiuntivo. Sometimes you can use it to say would, especially in situations like this. We have to find the best translation we could give that would make the most sense in English. Whenever you're in situations like this, sometimes the translation is not literal. Sometimes the translation is just going to be, what's the idea? That's what's really important here. It's the meaning. And that, guys, is everything that I've got for you for the third episode of Advanced Italian. Congratulations on making it this far, on getting through this video. It wasn't that bad, right? You know, I like to just take you guys through it nice and easy, keeping things as clear as possible. You guys are all the best. Thanks so much for watching this video and for all of my videos. And if you subscribed, that's awesome. And if you'd like to subscribe, feel free to do so. Come on in. Welcome to the family. And yeah, guys, so I hope you liked this video and learned a lot. Feel free to give me a thumbs up if you want to let me know that you did like it. And I will catch you guys, as always, in the next video. And of course, there's a blog post down below of everything that I read off of, so you guys can take a look at my notes, how I'd write this stuff. And always remember to spread the love, guys. I'll catch you all next time. Ciao! Weilà, raga! How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the second episode of Advanced Italian. Today I'm going to teach you guys the congiuntivo passato, which is called the past subjunctive tense in English.